The information station, KRMS, Osage Beach.
It's time for the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Lakefront Living Realty is Missouri's only real estate firm focused solely on lakefront and lake access properties, changing lives one lake house at a time. So let's talk the waterfront lifestyle. Please welcome owner-broker Annie Faulstich and her guests for today's program.
Welcome to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. Welcome back. I hope everyone is off to a fantastic weekend. It is hard to believe that we are well into the holiday season. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, enjoying friends and family. I feel like a broken record sometimes, but honestly, the real estate market has continued to stay steady as we're now into December. New properties are coming on the market every week, and we are still putting multiple properties under contract weekly. Stay tuned because, as always, I have an exciting new listing to tell you about later in the show during our featured listings segment. A gentle lot with nearly flat back grassy yard to the dock, a 5-bedroom for under $600,000. So stay tuned for that one. It is exciting. Each week, I like to talk about topics that typically affect buyers and sellers, giving you, the listeners, answers to your most common questions. I will always continue to ask you to call the office or myself directly anytime with any further questions you may have on one of the shows, or if there is someone or a certain topic that you would like to hear us cover. As always, if you're not able to catch the whole show today or missed any previous shows, you can listen anytime on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. There you can also subscribe to catch our popular Tip of the Week videos. As you know, I'm always talking about lifestyle on the Lakefront Living radio show. That is what our clients are after, the lakefront lifestyle and community. With that comes interest in the lake area in which you own waterfront. As many of you know who are full or part-time, there are now things happening around the lake year-round. It's not just seasonal. Not to mention that majority still of our lakefront homeowners do not live in the area, comes the need to stay in touch or in tune with what is happening around the lake. News, events, etc. In decades past, one would rely on the full-time neighbor in the cove or possibly subscribe to the local newspaper, having it sent to their full-time resident. Well, thankfully, times have changed, and there is an incredible outlet out there for anyone, full or part-time, to stay in the know when it comes to Lake of the Ozarks news and events. LakeExpo.com. I have the honor to have Nathan Bechtold, editor with Lake Expo, in the studio with me today. I wanted to have them on the show as I feel they are a huge asset to our lakefront and lake access community. If you do not already know about Lake Expo and Shore Magazine, which we will be also talking about a little later, you need to know. LakeExpo.com. News, boating, lake life. Lake Expo is the trusted news and entertainment source for Lake of the Ozarks. More than a catchphrase, the lake's trusted news source has built respect over a decade of quality journalism and a deep understanding of the lake community, the locals, the weekend warriors, and of course the visitors. Nathan, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you have a crazy busy schedule at work, both with Lake Expo and Shore and all of the projects that you have going on, as well as a full house at home. So I really appreciate your time.
Well, it's my pleasure. And yes, actually, since we just finished our new issue of Shore, that's like one thing off the plate. Although I think things always find their way on the plate when you get one thing off, right? So, it's all right. Happy to be here, though.
Good. Well, thanks. We're happy to have you. Well, give us some history on Lake Expo and yourself, as well as the role you have with the company.
Yeah. Okay. So Lake Expo was founded in 2008. Originally, it was actually started as a paid classified site, and that was, I think, around 2007. Actually, Brent Simpson founded that. He'd had experience in the news business, and so he kind of went out on his own and started his own thing, and started as a classified site, and realized that was around the time Craigslist was like really making its run, and quickly realized, oh, nope, that's not going to work very well. So pivoted and said, well, I already know news, and so let's make this kind of an alternative news kind of website. And so that was around 2008. I was graduating college in Dallas at the time, actually, so I was not anywhere close to here, but I have family history here, so I wound up here. But so Brent started it then, and he ran it on kind of the classic, work day and night, and shoestring budget, and freelancers and contributors and all that kind of stuff, and really that team of people helped build Lake Expo for 4 or 5 years. Excuse me, 4 or 5 years before I came on board. I moved to the lake in 2010. My grandparents had built a house here in the 50s, and my dad grew up here and graduated from Osage High School and all this. And my wife and I actually just wanted to get on a little bit of land. I'd grown up in South Texas. My dad, after graduating Mizzou, he didn't like Missouri winters. He thought they were too cold or too long. I think some people probably agree. But and so he moved to he moved to South Texas, and that's where he met my mom. So that's where I grew up. And but my wife and I wanted to get on a little bit of land, and I always had just sweet memories of coming up here to the lake area and seeing family and family reunions and all that kind of stuff. So we moved up here in 2010, and I kind of got connected with Lake Expo actually through a relative who owns Catalyst Electric, John Bussey, and they're in B&I together and all this. So he connected me with Brent. Brent was looking for a writer, and that was around 2012. And I started writing some and editing, and eventually came on full time. And so since 2013, I've been the full time editor at Lake Expo and partner there, and we've really grown in leaps and bounds since then in terms of our audience and what we publish and who's reading us and all that stuff. It's been a pretty cool adventure.
Boy, it has been really awesome to watch. I know because I've known Brent now for several years, probably 4 or 5 years, and even just getting to know how Lake Expo started and where it started, it's been so exciting to see that growth. Actually, that was one fact we had. In 2018, last year, Lake Expo was named the best news website in Missouri by the Missouri Press Association Better Newspaper Contest. So that's pretty cool. That
was super exciting. So that was actually our first year. We kind of decided we wanted to participate in that. We joined the Missouri Press Association. That was for us a big growth moment. We joined that, and you can sort of participate in different circulation categories, they call it, so how much readership you have and stuff. So that year we won that best news website in our category. And this year we stepped up a category and are in a larger, kind of actually the largest pool of competitors, and we won second place. But, I'm going to go with top two, top two news websites in Missouri for 2019. So that was a huge honor and really affirming to us that we're doing something right. So that was super exciting. We won some other awards this year as well, just for journalism and publishing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't love tooting our own horn, but that was really cool and fun to for freelancers and staff and all that stuff to be able to bring some plaques back to the lake from that event and go, hey man, you guys did an awesome job. And so we have a really cool team that has helped us get to the point that we're at. Yeah.
So when you step up like that, is that due to the readership that makes you get into those larger categories?
Yeah, it's all about just how we've grown and getting a better sense of who our readers are, and we're really able to have a really good sense of who our people are, like who our Lake Expo tribe is, and Google Analytics helps us with that a lot. So we always have a really clear sense of how many people are reading, what they're reading, and generally kind of where they are. Google, whether it's creepy or not, Google gives you a lot of demographics on who's reading, but it's really great information to have because it also tells us who our people are and the kinds of things that they're interested in. And so what we've learned is over time, we've really grown our readership into people who are very interested in exactly what you're saying at the beginning, the lake lifestyle. That is our niche. And so all the stuff that we write about and publish and cover and all that stuff fits directly into the lake lifestyle and the people who love it.
Well, that is exactly why I've got you on the show today, because we obviously merge so much in that aspect. That's all we talk about is selling the lake lifestyle and working exclusively with lakefront and lake access buyers and sellers. I know Lake Expo becomes a huge news source for them, both if they're looking to come to the lake or already have a place at the lake. So I'm excited to get back in after a short break, talk a little bit more about Lake Expo, what people can find there on the website, and then, of course, talk about Shore Magazine. So we're going to take a short break. Stay with us on the Lakefront Living Radio Show on News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Once again, here's owner-broker Annie Faulstich.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. If you missed the first part of the show, we are on always, of course, talking about the lakefront lifestyle, and we have the privilege of having Nathan Bechtold, editor of LakeExpo.com. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Thanks so much again for being in here. If you missed any part of today's show or any show, always know that you can catch us the following week or anytime after on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. You can listen at your leisure. We're getting some exciting information and kind of some inside look today at LakeExpo.com. I always like to give the listeners, of course, the people who are interested in lakefront property, lake access property, the community at Lake of the Ozarks, and then really keeping in tune with real estate, of course, and what's going on. So I'm super excited to have you in the studio today. I've been wanting to have you guys on for a while now, and because I want to share. If anybody doesn't already know about Lake Expo, or if you're not already a subscriber or signed up, how do you say that? I mean, what would you call them?
I would call them missing the boat.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. But would people subscribe, or would you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's and we're actually really glad of this, but there's a lot of different ways that people get to Lake Expo. So it's a pick your favorite method kind of thing.
Okay.
So one of our earliest things that we've been doing for a really long time that we started is our Lake Alert newsletter or e-blast or email, whatever you want to call it. It's the Lake Alert. And honestly, that became such a strong brand for us in the early years of Lake Expo that people knew the brand Lake Alert better than they knew the brand Lake Expo, honestly. Yeah. And they would say, "Are you the Lake Alert guys?" And it was like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, we are. Thanks. I'm glad you subscribe." And so that email goes out more or less daily, and it's kind of our e-newspaper. It's the latest headlines, and that's kind of evolved over time, and it's become a little more graphically oriented and stuff. But as the latest headlines from today or the last day or two, it has upcoming events that people want to know about at the lake. It has real estate listings. It has boat listings. It's kind of a snapshot of the last 24 or 48 hours or something like that. Of LakeExpo.com. So it's everything that you wanted all condensed right there in your inbox. And we have 15,000 subscribers or so to that, and we're excited about that. They're pretty active subscribers. For better or worse, the email service that we've used scrubs people if they don't open it for a while. So we're the people that subscribe to that are pretty active users. So that's definitely one channel, and that's a big way that people arrive to Lake Expo. A lot of people just wait for the Lake Alert to show up in their inbox.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how I became first known to Lake Expo as well, is just subscribing for those Lake Alerts. As everything's changing and in that direction. We talk about it a lot in the real estate industry as far as everything going digital.
Right.
I mean, that's just the direction and the importance that we have to use on our industry on listings and getting those out to in the hands of the right people. So in my generation and ours, I guess, I no longer really get the newspaper as well. So that Lake Alert became my way to stay in touch with the news locally.
Yeah, people want it how they want it, right? Increasingly in the information age and the digital information age, people want to get their information wherever they want to get their information. And so we've had to kind of grow and evolve, and those growing pains are never easy, but you kind of, we resolved not to get too stuck on one idea on how we reach people, and that's worked pretty well for us. So the Lake Alert is a big way. We notice, again, we're looking at our analytics. Google provides us all this information about how people get to our website and all that stuff. So that's actually kind of cool. But as we watch that, a lot of people just Google Lake Expo. They just put it in their browser, or they Google it every time they want to go there. So that's definitely one way. And then honestly, Facebook has been a huge traffic driver for us, and Facebook's been a double-edged sword for us, really. And I think it's that way probably for a lot of people. It's like you love it and you hate it, whether as a business or as a person who feels like you should probably log off and play with your children, or something. Okay, fine, whatever. And then but it's an unbelievably powerful tool for communicating with, again, what I call your tribe, right? Yeah. With people who actually do want to see the things that you're saying or publishing, or for you, listings that you have up, or information that you have for people that are thinking about buying at the lake or upgrading or whatever else it is. And so for us, Facebook really has become, in the past 3 or 4 years, a huge traffic driver for us, and has really propelled us to the point where we're, in the many millions of page views annually, as people arrive all sorts of different ways. But that's one big one for sure.
Well, I mean, it's important for people, especially if you do have a connection to the lake, whether this is a place where you come to vacation every year, the same time your family comes, or if you have a second or third home here, even more so, you would want to stay involved. I mean, just as we do here locally. And that's what so many people say is so amazing about our lake community, is because the people that don't actually live here full time still feel such a part of this lake community. Absolutely. And they really are. I mean, they make up just more. They make up more than the full-time owners, but are so much involved in our lake area, community events, fundraisers, different things that are going on. So this has really allowed them an outlet to find out about those things, where in the past, there couldn't help but be a little bit of a disconnection, because when they're not here, they're disconnected.
Yeah, it would be harder to get information, at least in more or less real time, about what's going on there. And yeah, you're right. And you almost can't emphasize that point enough, that the people who have second homes here, who want to be here as much as they can, but aren't as lucky as us, who get to enjoy a lake view every day, right? But that's their aspiration. I always love to say, that we live where everybody else wants to be and retire to someday. It's quite a blessing. But those people, they outnumber us full timers. They span across how many states across the Midwest, even Texas and Florida and all that, and they are an absolutely irreplaceable and crucial part of the lake community. And so, I know that sometimes in the past there's been a tension with the locals and the part-timers and all that, but man, I actually don't sense that as much anymore. I think that that element is so unique. It makes the Lake of the Ozarks community such a special place, that is, again, and December, January is a smaller kind of, feels a little more small townish, but the people that are here in the warmer months are still kind of here in spirit, I think, year round, and they want to know what's going on. And so we discovered that when I first came on with Lake Expo, I was just kind of randomly, kind of ad hoc almost, kind of covering this topic or that topic, whatever. And Brent, our publisher, would tell me, no, man, don't do that story. Focus on the waterfront. And I kind of pushed back against that for a little while. No, I want to write about this, or I want to write about I don't know, whatever, something else. And he said, no, focus on the waterfront. That stuff does well. And I finally listened to him after a while and discovered that he was indeed correct, that when we write about what's happening on the lake, whether it's real estate related or whether it's a new business popping up on the lake or whether it's something related to boating or the lake life in particular, you just find that it reaches all those people in such a more dramatic way that they go, yeah, that's what I connect to. I love that lake life. I love the water. Yeah. And so we kind of pivoted our content that direction more as time went on and realized, well, that's the stuff that our tribe wants to see, wants to read about, wants to know about, and events and news and happenings and all that stuff on the lake. And so that's kind of where we've moved to in the past 4 or 5 years, especially.
Sure. I mean, I think that the digital world has allowed that, where we said the full-time and the second second homeowners to really become a community year-round. They all get to see each other online or, in the Facebook or, again, the Lake Expo. But it's nice to also see, I mean, you really keep up on the local news.
Yes.
Waterfront, you said, is a huge part of that. But it's just the local news in general as well. I mean, I know you're editor. You're staying on top of it.
Right. Yeah. It's such an interesting marriage, right? Of water, vacation, that kind of lifestyle that the boating lifestyle and what's happening with the real estate piece and all of that. And it's also the community. And so covering everything from local issues that people have very strong feelings about or things that are coming up that people who live here full time really care about. It's just like the lake community itself. It's this really cool combination of both. Yeah,
because people want to hear that, and they need to. And I think even people, again, that don't live here, but they own homes here, it's interesting to them. They want to keep up on, what's going on around, the community where they own property. So, again, we've got to take another quick break, but stay with us on the Lakefront Living Radio Show. We are with Nathan Bechtold, editor of Lake Expo. We're going to talk a little bit more about Lake Expo and Shore Magazine. So always follow us on News Talk KRMS, or you can catch us anytime at lakefrontliving.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Once again, here's owner-broker Annie Faulstich.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. We are talking the lake lifestyle, as always, today on the show. We have Nathan Bechtold, editor with Lake Expo, in the studio. We're talking all about news, events, everything lake community, and I love it. I mean, this is why we live here. This is what we do, what we work for every day, to share this with people in the community and people outside of the community. So I just love talking about Lake Expo, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show today too. So thanks again, Nathan, for being here. Remember, if you miss any part of the show today, you can always catch it on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty Missouri. But we left off talking, obviously about Lake Expo. Give me some ins and some outs, what else people are going to find on Lake Expo. I love the site. It's very user-friendly, easy to navigate through. I mean, I don't know anybody that couldn't go directly to the site and navigate to whatever that they're wanting to find. So that part, I do love, an easy access.
Thank you. Yeah, we've labored mightily to make that happen. Yes,
I've seen it evolve, quite a bit over the years. But yeah, right now, I mean, it's on point for today.
Wonderful,
for sure.
It's good to hear. We kind of, some of the site design, we kind of just looked at sites that we thought we kind of wanted to be like, larger organizations, and kind of gave the people who've done some of our site rebuilds for us and stuff and said, hey, we like that and we like that and we like that. So we ended up, in fact, some people almost refer to us as like an online magazine, really, because we ended up with this look that doesn't look really anything like a traditional newspaper layout. We wanted it to be so heavily well, we want it to be beautiful. Honestly, we want it to be like clean and there's an image with every article, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of where we went with it, and we've loved just kind of how the folks who we have building that have done that and stuff. So, like I said, we started with news specifically, and almost exclusively news, and then we kind of had events as well going on, and have figured out the kinds of events our readers are interested in, and maybe the stuff they're not, because you could spend all day, every day, finding out every meeting and every organization and every group and all that stuff. So we've really keyed in on the stuff that reaches our readers. And but in the past few years, like I said, we watched Facebook and some of the other spaces kind of eating into some of the things we were doing a little bit, actually. So there's certain Facebook groups and places where we don't like. Some people will say, "Didn't you hear about that? That happened an hour ago." No, that's the first I heard about that. I'm sorry, And they're like, "Well, it's all over Facebook." Oh, great, wonderful. So we realized we had to accept the fact that we weren't always going to be the first ones that everybody called with with breaking news.
Yeah.
So we sort of, rather than cry in a river, we might have cried a few tears, but we decided, well, why don't we change the way that we think about the way we do news and the way we do content completely. And so we started trying to dive a little deeper. And so if somebody hears about something that happened at the lake, so a good example is the recent that crazy rock wall collapse on Highway 54, right?
Yeah.
So we that made it onto Facebook, and it was making its rounds, and somebody sent some stuff, and somebody sent us a photo, and so then we sort of did a little deeper dive into what happened there, and talked with MoDOT a little about it, and had some history of that, of those kinds of incidents at the lake and that kind of stuff. So we found that kind of thing provides to our readers something that just a quick scan of Facebook or somewhere else isn't going to give them. So we decided, let's dive deep. Not to use the lake analogy too much, but
there you go.
We try to do a deep dive into our content. So that's from the article news perspective. That's what we're doing. But we began to realize that people liked, or that our readers were, like you've been talking about, a lot of them. In fact, the majority of them don't actually live at the lake full time, because there's just so many, just quantity of people that visit the lake or that have a second home here or whatever. And so we started saying, well, what else? What are the other kinds of things they're going to be interested in? So that's when, again, we began to kind of grow how we displayed events, especially during the warmer summer months and vacation months. And then we launched a couple of different products in the past year and a half or so that have just done exceedingly well, and we're super excited about. One of them is called X-Boats. And that is essentially it's like a boats classified section of our site. And we tried to lay it out in a way that, people can find all the info they want about a boat that's for sale and easily contact the person that's selling it. So individuals can list their boats there for sale, and then dealers. And so we have quite a few dealers around the lake who it's pretty plug and play, and they kind of jump on board, and we connect their whole inventory to our site. So people can cruise hundreds of boats for sale that are local at Lake of the Ozarks. And there's some other dealers that are their inventory goes beyond Lake of the Ozarks, but it is Lake of the Ozarks boats for sale at Expo. And so we found that just really, people love cruising what their 2-foot-itis sets in, right? And people love cruising what their next dream boat is going to be.
Boats and real estate, it's about the same too. People are always kind of searching, and you should kind of have that dream, your couch surfing of what your next lake home or your next boat's going to be. Yeah,
you surf for days or months or years, maybe even, right? Until you sort of land on the dream boat or the dream home. Sure. And so, the other piece of that we launched a year ago was our real estate expo. And so and we're thrilled that Lakefront Living is on there as well. And so that is listings, lake exclusive listings that we have for sale. And that has done just incredibly well too, as you're saying. People have that dream of either moving to the lake or of upgrading their lake place or whatever else. And so we just found those two niches are exactly what our readers were looking for. We discovered that because we watched how those sections of the site performed. And there are weeks when like a house for sale listing or something will outperform any article that we wrote that week. And I'm like, am I still relevant at this job? Do I need to come in today, or are we just gonna? Yeah. So it's kind of funny, but it's really cool too to see that and to see where our people are reading from and the kinds of things they're interested in.
Yeah. The open houses as well. I mean, that was something I, joined in a little bit marketing with Lake Expo prior to the real estate section that you just spoke about, and the boating section. And so there really wasn't anything real estate related at that point. In talking to Brent about making the open house section available as the real estate community, our buyers, we had nowhere for anybody to go as one spot to find open houses. It's different here at the lake, and with, so much area to cover and so many different lake roads and communities, unlike or in the city or a lot of other areas, they'll have a set day and time. Okay, open houses are, Sundays from 10 to 12, and everybody knows that, so everybody goes out and drives around. We don't have that here at the lake, in the lake community. So I know personally, by you all starting that open house section, we're still encouraging all agents, any agents out there, if you're holding open houses, put them on Lake Expo.
We would love that.
Yeah. I mean, really, because the more people that we have that know that they can go to Lake Expo to find the open houses when they are in town, the better for everybody.
Oh, that's totally true. And that's why, and I feel like our realtors that are on board with our open houses, and thank you, you helped us pioneer the open house piece. And that actually helped us realize that there was some interest here among our readers in real estate to that level. And so our realtors get it that they don't want to be the only one on our side, because it's almost the more the better in the sense that it creates this resource for our readers to go, this is where I can go to find open houses, find homes for sale, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're right. It's been really neat to see that work really well for realtors.
Yeah, that kind of one-stop shop, because otherwise they know, I would have one person trickle into an open house and say, where can I find the others? And I'd say, I don't know, because I don't even have. They thought that maybe I had this master list,
right?
And even as agents, we don't. We didn't have any sort of list. So it's been neat to see that help and help us directly in that section of the site. Any other little stories, tidbits?
Yeah. So I was going to mention there was just a couple neat ways that we've been a resource to people who don't live at the lake. It has been so cool to meet some people. We go to the boat shows, so Overland Park and St. Charles, and we can see them on our analytics side, like they're reading from Iowa or from Nebraska or Illinois or whatever, but we get to meet those people at those shows. So we had one guy come through, speaking of lake homes, and he said, man, you guys saved my dock. And we said, how did we do that? And he said, you published a story that a snowstorm was coming through and check your docks. And I was in Kansas City. I didn't even know it was coming. And so we flew down to the lake and checked in, and our dock was just about to collapse. And we cleared all the snow off, and you saved our dock. So we love being that resource for people that own a second home at the lake and aren't here all the time, but have a very real connection to Lake of the Ozarks.
Absolutely. Like I said, the days, unfortunately, of the Cove neighbor, mayor that can keep you informed of everything going on, it just isn't, it isn't any longer. So if you're not already a subscriber to lakeexpo.com, get online right now. Go ahead, lakeexpo.com.
Yeah, take the plunge.
Get the lake alerts. You won't regret it. We're going to take another short break, but we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Shore Magazine and, of course, our featured listing of the week. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Stacy O'Neill, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty. Call or email me directly to put my love for the lakefront lifestyle to work for you. You can find me at lakefrontliving.com. Call 573-745-0946 or email me directly at stacy@lakefrontliving.com.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. We are with Lake Expo today in the studio, talking with Nathan Bechtold, editor of Lake Expo and Shore magazine. So we've got some good insight on Lake Expo, kind of where they came from, how they started, and wow, this huge growth that you all have had at Lake of the Ozarks, and a huge impact on the community, really. Like we've talked about both here locally and globally, really, or, across the nation, for anybody having interest in Lake of the Ozarks. This past year, the founder of Lake Expo, Brent Simpson, who we talked about earlier, he was named Business Person of the Year by Lake of the Ozarks Economic Development Council. That was huge.
That was huge. That was quite an honor.
Brent is such a good guy.
He is.
I tried to get him to join us today in the studio as well, so we'll have to
harp
on him a little
Nate,
bit.
you're up. All right, I'm cool. I like to talk, so that's
exactly.
All right.
No, we'll have to get him in here at some point as well. But wow, the site has truly taken off. While celebrating all the best the lake has to offer, I mean, at its core, Lake Expo is a news organization dedicated to finding the truth about the issues that matter. The end goal, Brent says, is to make a positive impact on the community Lake Expo serves, support business, and make a profit while doing it. Lake Expo knows the Midwest boating lifestyle and features cool places, events, and things to do on the water. Again, why we merge and mesh so well with Lakefront Living Realty. But that boating lifestyle is exactly, what came about with Shore magazine. The second annual edition of Shore magazine for 2020 just hit the lake last week. So
it is here.
It is here.
We have a couple copies right here.
We have a couple copies in front of us. It's 197 pages of boating bliss, a deep dive into the rise of water sports, new boat lines in 2020, lake lore, and a whole lot more. Your editor's note about wake surfing and life goals, I loved it. I love reading those anyway. So I have not yet been able to wake surf myself, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, when I'm not pregnant next summer, that will be a good time to start.
Pregnant.
Not
That's
pregnant.
Good, yeah.
Your note in the first edition, a lake story, I know resonated with so many, including myself. I talk about it constantly, but exclusively selling lakefront and lake access property. I am working with clients who also have that lifeblood, as you called it. They are coming to me with an emotion the lake evokes, and in most memories form from childhood. Or I am selling a house for them to close out a chapter in their lives that has entailed decades of lake memories with family and friends. So tell us a little bit about Shore. I know Shore magazine will be available at select locations before distribution at the Overland Park Boat Show, St. Charles Boat Show, and the Lakes In-Water Show at Dog Days. I believe that's early in March.
Right.
But tell us a little bit about Shore.
Yeah. So Overland Park's in January. St. Charles is in March, and I think Dog Days, either that's March or April. I believe it's usually April. Yeah, it's April. So we kind of really get them in the hands of, well, we think the right people at those shows for sure. But we've got it a few kind of places already. We're kind of putting it out there a little bit, letting folks get their hands on it.
Go ahead and call me. I'll give you a copy. I've got a few.
Yeah, Andy's got a few. And for folks that either aren't here at the lake right now or you don't want to dig around and go try to find a copy somewhere right now, kind of early distribution. We do ship them to your door, so you can order those online. I mean, we don't do that for free, but people can order those at our website, which is shoreboatingmag.com. You can also just go to our Facebook page, which is Shore Magazine.
They're beautiful. They're huge. I mean, they're actually they're the coffee table magazine.
That was the goal.
Yeah. And the articles in them are great. I love it because it's exclusively about boating and the lake, which of course again is my lifestyle. But it's nice to read the articles and just to see everything that's up and coming. There's some advertising in it, and we get into that where a lot of the magazines are just all advertising. But this publication truly does have articles for the lake lovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you always try to walk this line. You have to support the magazine, and we wanted to provide it for free distribution at key points where boaters were going to be. And so we feel like we struck a good balance in terms of the ads. And honestly, our aspiration. Well, let me back up. When we conceived of the idea of shore, we were just talking about the fact that the lake lacked this kind of high-end feeling magazine that embodied the boating lifestyle. I get a little poetic about it sometimes when I explain it to people, but I'm like, if you could take all the emotions people have about Lake of the Ozarks and just sort of pour them into 196 pages, that's what I want Shore Magazine to be. It's this thing that that embodies and tells stories of, like you said, the feelings people have, because so much of the lake is current experiences that are colored by nostalgia and memories, right? It's this really cool blend of both of those because, again, either you've been coming for a long time or you want to be the kind of person that has been coming for a long time, right? Exactly. And so it's one or the other. And so we thought, man, we just need this beautiful, oversized piece that is going to be everything that people love about Lake of the Ozarks. And so when our first issue was in 2019, and that year, like you said, it struck just the perfect chord. We got so much great feedback on it, and this 2020 issue has just come out. And what we wanted was even the ads to be beautiful. I mean, right? Of course. And so we feel like every page you look through and that it communicates what they love about the lake. Ads and articles and the whole picture is just that's what we wanted it to be. So I
love it. And be sure to pick up your 2020 edition of the Shore magazine. I've read it. It's awesome. Nathan, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I don't want you to miss our featured listing of the week. So I gave you a sneak peek earlier in the show about our new listing, just listed at 1592 Arrow Ridge Shores. If you have not been to Arrow Ridge Shores, it is a must-see upscale neighborhood with amazing lakefront gentle lots located in the perfect lake location at the 42.5-mile marker. This 5-bedroom, 4-bath home with attached 2-car garage is selling furnished and is updated and ready to go. Stunning main channel views with cove protection. This is the perfect combination. Large concrete circle drive with an ample parking and paved roads to the house. The home has a modern and open floor plan, giving you tons of entertaining space inside and out, as well as a warm and inviting feel. New HVAC and a new roof are only bonuses on this well-appointed lake home. The flat sidewalk out the lake side of the home to the dock is truly a rare find. There is a 3-well concrete dock ready to go and also included in the listing price. The 3 gas fireplaces and transom windows letting in a ton of natural light, again, are features rarely found in a home in this price range. The lower level features a covered concrete deck, and upper deck has both open decking and a screen deck off the kitchen and living room. Arrow Ridge Shores also features community sewer and water for an incredible price of $400 a year. That peace of mind and convenience alone is worth gold on the water. Priced at $560,000, I dare you to find another home on the lake with this much to offer. Call today and schedule your private showing. This one I know will not last. Again, that is 1592 Arrow Ridge Shores. If you would ever like to talk directly to one of our lakefront specialists regarding selling your lakefront or lake access property, contact us directly through lakefrontliving.com and go to the Missouri page. You could be our next week's featured listing. I also want to remind everyone that Lakefront Living Realty Missouri is now also covering Table Rock, Taneycomo, and Bull Shoals Lake. Again, go to lakefrontliving.com to the Missouri page, and you can check out active listings on those lakes as well. If you are curious of your home value, please do not look it up on Zillow and get your Zestimate. Go to lakefrontliving.com and use our patented Calculator tool. You'll answer a few questions regarding your home to get an accurate market price range for your property. We always talk about selling a lifestyle at Lakefront Living Realty. Staying in touch with the community around your lake home is very important to most. Make LakeExpo.com your choice for area news and resource. Just like you are not selling homes, we are also selling the lake. Lake Expo is a wonderful source if you are trying to decide on a lake community. My family and I live and work to boat and enjoy all Lake of the Ozarks has to offer. Real estate truly is my passion, so every day is a lake day. Until next week, enjoy family and friends this holiday season. Remember the reason for the season and do not waste another day talking about that lake home you've always wanted. See you next week.
Tell a friend to join you next week and listen in to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show. Visit their website for more information, including current listings and agent contacts. www.lakefrontliving.com. That's lakefrontliving.com. Or call the office at 833-LK-FRONT. That's 833-7668. 833-7668. And join them next Saturday after the news at 11 a.m. on News Talk KRMS Osage Beach.